Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhakti Raghava Swami, Srimad Bhagavatam, ISKCON BBT founder Charyas, the Bhakti Srila Prabhupada ki, Amacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Harinama Sankirtan ki, Bhaktaraj Bhagavatam ki, Jani Thakur, all that is to be assembled, all that is to be assembled, all that is to be assembled, all that is to Sri Guru Sri Guru, all that is to Sri Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnanjana Sarakaya Aksharitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Dandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Sagadatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savritam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Param Sagana Ravita Sri Shakampitam Sya He Krishna Kara Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gauraki Radhe Navakeshari Vrishabhanusute Pranamami Hariye Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Mukam karoti vachanam tvam gungam gayate kirim yatripatamaham bhante srivaranginataram yatripatamaham bhante srivaranginataram. Today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 2, chapter number 1, entitled The First Step in God Realization, text number 32. Grida, Uttara, Astha, Adhara, Eva, Lobaha, Dharmaha, Stanaha, Adharma, Pataha, Asya, Istham, Kaha, Tasya, Medram, Rishanao, Sha, Mritao, Kukshihi, Samudraha, Girayaha, Asti, Sanghaha.
This is supposed to be better. I hope it's better. Sounds okay. Vedo Namastao Dhara Eva Loho. Dharma Stano Dharma Pakosya Prishtham. Kastasya me grama vrishanao chamitrao. Bhukshi samudragrayosti sangha. Vridho naraustau kodhara eva lobho. Dharmasya dharma patrosya prishtham. Kastasya me dhamma vrishanao chamitrao. Bhukshi samudragrayosti sangha. Vridho tarastao dhara eva lobo.
धरस्थो धर एव लोभो धर्मस्थनो धर्मपथोऽस्य पृष्ठम् कस्तस्य मेधं वृषणौ च मित्रौ कुक्षि समुद्रागिरयोऽस्ति सङ्घः
क्रीडोत्तरोऽस्तो धर एव लोभो धर्मस्थनो धर्मपथोऽस्य पृष्ठम् कस्तास्य मेढ्रं वृषणौ च मित्रौ कुक्षि समुद्रागिरयोऽस्ति सङ्घः
Vrila, modesty, Uttara, upper, Astha, lip, Adharaha, chin, Eva, certainly, Lovaha, hankering, Dharma, religion, Stanaha, breast, Adharma, irreligion, Bhaktaha, way, Asya, his, Pristham, back, Kaha, Brahma, Tasya, his, Medham, genitals, Vishanau, testicles, Cha, also, Mitrau, the Mitra, Varunas, Kukshihi, waste, Samudraha, the oceans, Girayaha, the hills, Asti, bones, Sangaha, stack. Translation and by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Raghava Swami, Srimad Bhagavatam. Modesty is the upper portion of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is the breast of the Lord. And irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings in the material world, is genitals, and the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. The ocean is his waist, and the hills and mountains are the stacks of his bones. Kindly repeat after me. Modesty is the upper portion. Of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is the breast of the Lord. And irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings in the material ocean is his waist.
The ocean is his waist.
And the hills and mountains
And the hills and mountains
are the stacks of his bones.
are the stacks of his bones.
The Supreme Lord is not impersonal, as misconceived by less intelligent thinkers. Rather, he is the Supreme Person, as confirmed in all authentic Vedic literatures. But his personality is different from what we can conceive. It is stated here that Brahmaji acts as his genitals and that the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. This means that as a person, he is complete with all bodily organs, but they are of different types with different potencies. When the Lord is described as impersonal, therefore, it should be understood that his personality is not exactly the type of personality found within our imperfect speculation. One can, however, worship the Lord even by seeing the hills and mountains, or the ocean and the sky, as different parts and parcels of the gigantic body of the Lord, the Virat Purusha, the Virat Rupa, as exhibited by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, is a challenge to the unbelievers and the perverted. Explains how this description of the Lord that we find in the Bhagavatam is a challenge to the non-believers. It is sometimes a challenge to the believers also. It's also not so easy for devotees to understand. Actually, this description, this is explained in other sections of the Bhagavatam. This description of the Virat Purusha is especially for those who are not yet devotees. It is a material explanation, a material understanding of the Lord. But as Prabhupada explains, the Lord actually always remains completely transcendental. As Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma, Karma, Chame, Divyam, transcendental. One who is fortunate to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord when He appears in the material world, such a person actually becomes qualified to actually go back to Krishna. Janma karma chamidivyam evam tyavati tatvataha tattva deham punar janma naitimam eti sorjuna. So, the principles of dharma are actually not always easy to understand. They are found or exhibited both in terms of Krishna's spiritual energy and also Krishna's material energy. The Lord has different energies. Shakti. The material energy is referred to as the Bahiranga Shakti, the internal energy or spiritual energy, the Antaranga Shakti, and we are in between, the Tasma Shakti. Those who are fortunate, those Mukta Jeev, liberated souls who never come in the material world, they don't have the challenge that we have to try and understand the Antaranga Shakti, external energy, the Virat Purusha explanation is part of the external energy of the Lord. We have a special challenge here in the material world because although we belong to the spiritual world, we are here. And we have to endeavor to understand how these different energies of the Lord function. It is actually a science. It is the greatest of sciences. One who is fortunate to actually come in contact with the science of dharma, of samatha is of course extremely fortunate, because by cultivating this knowledge, by cultivating this science, we can learn how to ultimately resolve our difficult situation here in the material world. Difficult situation means we are all subjected, as we know, to the threefold miseries of life. We are constantly pressured and influenced by the three modes of material nature, and we are constantly having to deal with the four problems of life, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Prabhupada explains in one place how, although in Kali Yuga especially, the list of problems is very long, the problems are very great. Kalera dosha, Vidi Rajan, like an ocean of faults in Kali Yuga. But everything can be, actually for devotee and for those who take up the Vedic culture, everything is meant to become simplified. Actually, that's why when we become devotees, even from the very beginning, even we may not yet, because it takes some time, reach, the final stage of liberation of pure devotional service, but even from the very beginning, as nicely explained by Srimad Bhagavatam Swami, one who takes up devotional service experiences immediately a great relief. A great relief from the burden of material life. So, as devotees, we, every single day, actually, we should be trying to understand different aspects of this science of dharma. We've developed recently a course called Dharma Shastri. Actually, I thought I would be giving this course this weekend here in Bangalore, and somehow this time it's not quite working out like that. But Dharma Shastri is basically, I guess we could say, an introduction to some very important, actually very essential principles regarding dharma. And I won't won't give the complete course this morning, but I'll give you a preview, and possibly in some future visit by Krishna's mercy, possibly we can give this seminar. I shall be giving this seminar in Mayapur for anyone who may be going to Mayapur just before Gaur Purnima 2014 coming up. In our ministry, we have a ministry here in India. Some of you may not be familiar because we've not been so active. Of course, here in Bangalore we were, I think, a few years ago. It's called the Daiva Varnasram ministry connected with rural development. One may immediately question rural development. What does that have to do with Krishna consciousness? And that's where the importance of understanding dharma comes in, isn't it? Dharma, we say Sanatana Dharma. The eternal occupation, eternal duty, eternal identity, eternal responsibility of a living entity. How is that meant to be translated practically in our daily lives? Very important for each and every one of us to understand. So, dharma, when we begin to analyze based on Shastra, everything actually must be based on Shastra. Just like Srimad Bhagavatam in a very important, although very small book that he has written called Dasamula Tattva. He speaks about Tattva. When we speak about Dharma, we speak about Tattva. Dharma, Tattva, they are the same. Tattva means what is actually knowledge, what is actually the truth, absolute truth. Absolute truth means does not change, should not change. Anything that is scientific, no matter how many times one makes the experiment, the same result, isn't it, will come. That is called science. So the most scientific, we could say, system. Naturally, Krishna, because everything originates. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matas sarvam pravartate iti matva vajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Everything originates from Krishna. And Krishna being who he is, perfect, pure and complete living entity, whatever he does, whatever he creates, is also complete and perfect. So Krishna creates systems. In the context of dharma, Krishna has created two systems and many sub-systems also. And it's very essential for all of us to understand at least the two major systems that Krishna has created. We, as all of us, we are sitting here this morning, we have to do with two realities. We have to deal with two realities. What are those two realities? One is the life force within our body, means the spirit soul. The spiritual dimension, that is the first reality and the most important reality. The second reality is this body, material body, in which we are sitting, in which we are living. That's another reality. In the Bhagavad Gita, these two realities are part of 5 tattvas, isn't it? The 5 basic tattvas which are presented in the Bhagavad Gita. Some are eternal, some are not eternal. of those which are eternal, actually, the first of the five, of course, we know is Ishvara, isn't it? Ishvara is the first of five principles. Second is Jiva. Third is Prakriti. Fourth is Mala. And the fifth is Dharma. So the first four, within the first four, Ishvara means Krishna. Jiva means living entity. Prakriti, material nature. So we are practically, Mamaya Vangsho, Jiva Loka, living entity is a part and parcel of Ishvara, Krishna. Ishvara Dharma Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. We are also that Satchit Ananda Vigraha. You see. So, Jiva is eternal, Prakriti is also eternal. Prakriti is an eternal principle, isn't it? Ishvara is eternal, Jiva is eternal, Prakriti is eternal, Kala is eternal. Karma, fortunately for all of us, is not eternal. Otherwise we would never get out of the material world. So, dharma, two features of dharma, very important to understand. And both are actually within themselves a complete science. And it is essential for each and every devotee to understand actually the basic principles of these two sciences. So the first we refer to as the science of the soul, Atma Gyan, isn't it? That is also often referred to as the science of Bhagavat Dharma. The science of Bhagavat Dharma. The science of the soul and the science of super soul, the origin of the soul. Paramatma. And of course, the source of Paramatma is Bhagavan Krishna. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Sabdeti. So the first of the two sciences is the science of Bhagavat Dharma, which is the one that we generally focus more upon, and the one that we feel more at ease with once we come in contact. Of course, the majority of people in the material world don't know about Bhagavad Dharma. Unfortunately, most people in the material world, especially in our modern day society, don't know about Bhagavad Dharma, and also they don't know about the other one that I haven't explained yet. So, the science of the soul, only very fortunate persons, as we know, Krishna explains, Bahunam Jaranam Manti. After many lifetimes, one who is fortunate will begin to cultivate this science of Bhagavad Dharma. That is the first. It has to do with, especially, bhakti, the science of bhakti, devotional service, the science of rasa, the science of relationship. Actually, it's all connected with Sambandha Gyan, Sambandha Abhinyaya Prayojana. That actually summarizes, as Srila Prabhupada explains, Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is summarized within Sambandha Abhinyaya Prayojana. That is existing within Bhagavad Dharma, the science of the soul. Whenever we chant the holy name, that awakens, so to speak, this dimension, this spiritual dimension of ourselves as a spirit soul. And as devotees in our movement, in our sampradaya, from the time of Lord Chaitanya, especially gives, I would say, emphasis and importance, which is very good, of course, because it's most important. The other science, the other dimension of dharma, especially nowadays in modern day society, is less understood. And actually, even by devotees, it is less known. That other science, on one side we have Bhagavad Dharma, isn't it? The science of the soul. That is addressing the spiritual dimension. But on the other side, there is the science of the body, or the science of prakriti, or the science of material nature. That is called Varnashrama Dharma. That in itself is a complete science. That is a science also given by Krishna that is meant to the long-term goal, even short-term goal, is to actually facilitate our practice of Bhagavata. Just like today is a very special day. Actually, for devotees, of course, every day is a special day. If we begin our day with Mangalarati, then our day becomes auspicious. If we don't attend Mangalarati, our day may not be auspicious. So, Mangala, our lives are meant to be Mangala, auspicious. Why is today very special? Because it's Gopastami, isn't it? What is Gopastami? They're having, I missed it actually. I was in Vrindavan, just coming from Vrindavan, and the devotee who arranged my schedule forgot to include Gopastami. So anyways, Gopastami is where Nanda Maharaj, when was Govardhan Hill? What date? When was Govardhan Puja? I think the 4th. 5th? 4th. Yes. So, Krishna held the Govardhan Hill for how many days? 7 days. Very good. So then, during those 7 days, we know how all the residents of Vrindavan, they were under this Govardhan. And Krishna was smiling during the whole time, but not everybody else was smiling. Everybody was in anxiety. How can this little boy, how can our, Krishna, he's going to get tired, no? He's going to get tired holding this hill. We have to help him. So all the residents of Vrindavan were, it's not an easy thing to be under a hill for 7 days. Not knowing if that hill is going to fall on your head or not. So all the cows were there as well. So after lifting Govardhan Hill and protecting the residents of Vrindavan from the torrential rains that were sent by Indra, then Indra kind of got tired and the rain stopped. And then Krishna again placed Govardhan. And so Gopastami is that special day where, because why did, the whole Govardhan Lila is connected with especially the cows. Govardhan Hill is worshipped. Why? Because Govardhan Hill provides all of the material necessities to all the residents of Vrindavan. Especially provides food, green grass, water, fresh water. Nice shade from the trees that are growing on Govardhan Hill to the cows. The cows especially take shelter of Govardhan. That's why Govardhan Hill actually is the most worshipable entity. We read how in the Krishna book, the pastime of Govardhan Hill, Krishna established as not different from him. That's why we worship Govardhan Shilas. So this is I'm referring to this a little bit here because, of course, today is that special day, and also because this is connected with the second dimension of dharma. Let me try to explain. The residents of Vrindavan, they live in the village of Vrindavan. And every day, actually the whole existence is centered on two things. Actually three. Now I'm going to give you all a chance to tell me what are those three things. And you have to give me the Sanskrit word. The whole Vedic culture, probably explain, the whole Vedic culture is exemplified by the residents of Vrindavan. The whole Vedic culture, which is meant to be the norm and the standard by which all of us should follow and live in a practical way. You know, like Govardhan Leela, Vrindavan Leela. It is not simply Leela that we should remember. It is a Leela that we can live, that we should be living. Prabhupada explains in various purports the way, the lifestyle of the residents of Vrindavan is actually meant to be the standard lifestyle for all of us, even today, in year 2013, about to become 2014. Means modern day society is meant to be living. I'm looking for three words. I will give a clue. I will give a small clue here to help you out. That clue is especially going to be easy for anyone who knows about or who has read the Kautilya Arthashastra. Now that may not be so easy. Kautilya Arthashastra, I only discovered actually a few years ago. It is the science, Chanaka Pandit took the trouble, all glories to him, to summarize so many important aspects, especially of what is called governance. The Kautilya Arthashastra is especially for kings or leaders in society. And it gives all kinds of information. But without getting diverted here, in the very beginning of the Arthashastra, it speaks about Char Vidya. In our Vedic literatures, we have Chatur Dasa Vidya and we have Char Vidya. This Chatur Dasa Vidya, 14 books of knowledge are contained within Char Vidya. What are the Char Vidyas? I won't tell you the four, I'll tell you one of them. The one that's important for our discussion right now, and you can figure out or you can find out later about the other three. The fourth of the four Vidyas, Char Vidyas, is called, they're all sciences, all of them are sciences, again, because it's created by Krishna, so it is scientific. So the fourth of the Char Vidyas is called the science of economics. And within the context of Varnasrama, that means it is the science for the Vaishyas. How many people here like to make money? Oh. To use in Krishna's service. Yeah, Krishna remains always the center. Yeah, we want to make money so we can offer to Krishna, so we can sponsor festivals and go to Vrindavan and do so many things. So there's a whole science. That science is summarized in 3 words. I was asking about 3 words. 3 Sanskrit words. They're also there in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, I don't know how many clues I can give. Huh? Yes, very good. Krishi Goraksha Vanijam. The science of economics is summarized in these 3 words. In English, we can call this scientific, it's a scientific, sustainable system. Scientific, sustainable system. Nowadays, in every country in the world, we speak a lot about economy. As a matter of fact, the main thrust, the main endeavor in all